Hi there, Dr. Christel chiming in, and today on Ask Dr. Deb, I'm going to give you a rundown on the graphic tee. Where did they come from? Why are they so popular? What do they say about us? Well, first, I want to share with you the history of the graphic tee. The t-shirt got its name from the shape itself resembling the letter T and was first adopted in the late 1800s as a layering item for the Navy uniform to 1, help wick sweat from the body, and 2, when worn under their wool uniforms, helped trap heat when it was cold. It also helped reduce VO. The very first on-screen appearance of the graphic tee was in the 1939 classic Wizard of Oz. The workers who were re-stuffing the scarecrow all had on green t-shirts with capital letters O-Z. My hunch was that directors or costumers, 1, wanted to reinforce that they were indeed in Oz, or 2, wanted to make sure that the viewers knew those working were in a unified group and all working together for Oz because he was the almighty and powerful. Next, supposedly, the first time a graphic tee was in the media print was on the cover of Life magazine in 1942, which featured the Air Corps Gunnery School t-shirt. At this time, it became commonplace to see World War II veterans and blue-collar workers wearing Army-issued t-shirts or hand-me-downs, some that had graphics or lettering and some that were plain, but they all had the iconic snug fitted style. Mickey Mouse would follow suit a few years later. Then musical bands and fashion brands, places we've traveled, and specific museums or memorials. And of course, we've seen the style and trends of text, colors, and shapes evolve into more modern styles and graphics, but the biggest change is the shift from places, bands, destination, brands to non-brand identifying phrases, with the exception of a few brands that really want their logo visible. Gucci. We used to wear t-shirts as a designation of belonging to a group, which originated in America through our military. So our appreciation for this grouping is quite strong and has, in my opinion, set the tone for how important symbolic representation is for Americans. The way most and many still feel about the iconic bands of the 60s, 70s, and 80s, I think is much stronger than how we feel about bands today. And I think this is because our graphic shirts are an expression of what is important during that specific time in history. Graphic tees have always been a direct way to reflect an individual's ethos through an affiliation, and our clothing has always been a non-verbal form of communication, but graphic tees do this in a much more powerful way. The graphic tee has the power to non-verbally communicate who we are and what we believe in and what we will and will not tolerate. Beyond this, it serves to bring people together. Most consumers today are no longer interested in being a walking billboard for anyone. Consumers, including myself, want to be individual and have our voices heard. For so much of recent history, voices of the middle class have been silenced, and we feel that one very real and tangible way of expression is through phrases or words on t-shirts or tank tops. As consumers, the majority of Americans have the ability to access nearly anything that they could desire through the internet or their local craft store. We can have shirts with literally anything on them, and perhaps this ability has been available to us for quite a while, but in the early 2000s, most people were still afraid to express themselves individually through the very real fear of rejection. But now we know that standing up for what is right and self-expression does not lead to rejection. Because of our virtual networks, we know that there are communities of like-minded people that will support and lift us up. One of the ways that these groups build community is through sweet, funny, lighthearted, sometimes serious, and counterculture messaging, and I am so here for it. Most of us grew up with the message that you need to conform and you need to fit in so you won't be left out, made fun of, or rejected by society. But what we've learned is that attempting to conform or be someone we are not is painful, leads to fake friendships, bad relationships, and doesn't serve to better ourselves or society. We've come to learn that even though scary at times, because the act of self-expression is counterculture, that sharing who we are inside feels so good. For example, I love my pug, Muggsy, and honestly, more than some people, which I might never admit to an individual person, but the great thing is I don't have to. My trusty graphic tee can do it for me. And in that, there's this amazing freedom and liberation. And what's even better is that if someone doesn't like it, it's not my problem, it's theirs. These phrases on graphic tees, we are seeing and finally sharing our humanness and saying that yes, it's okay to be ourselves. For example, example, this is one of my favorite graphic tees. It says, "Beach, please." And this is what you know about me, or at least what I hope is communicated. 1, I have a sense of humor. 2, I like a play on words. 3, I probably like the beach. And 4, I can be impatient or easily irritated. These are all very accurate statements about me, which is why I love it so much. Through something seemingly so simple, those of us that wear graphic tees are able to say that we will no longer feel shame about character traits that are perceived as negative, like being impatient. And it's humorous, which we really need right now. We need some humor and laughter. And that we're going to own it and share it. And then lastly, what I love about graphic t-shirts is that they do what they've always done, which is bring people together, which at the root of our humanness is what we desire most. Being connected and valued through community and valuing our uniqueness. So I say, go on with your bad self and wear those graphic tees. Beach, please. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Ask Dr. Deb. Do you wear graphic tees? I want to know which one's your favorite. What are you telling people about who you are with your graphic tee? And as always, be sure to comment, like, subscribe, do all the things. And if you're new, share this with your friends. Let us know what you want to see next. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the flippity flip. I have to breathe.
No, that was good.
I just love Shasta.
Get out of here!
I want my vintage Smithsonian t-shirt that I didn't go to, but my mom gave me, so I felt like I was cool. Oh my God, my cat's using me as a cat scratch. Beach, please! No. I never went to In-N-Out Burger, ever.